boy. There's a real hell on earth. You know, I had a guy come up to me.
The narcissism on display, by the way. Like, the egos on all of these people. Where it's just like, oh yeah, and then in one scene I turn on the TV and then there's like a puppet version of me, and then it's basically pointing out all the problems with the modern world, but people mock me for it. They show me as a goddamn Muppet. I'm not a Muppet. I'm not a Muppet. I'm not a Muppet. Now, there's two versions of this. If you happen to be a leftist, you may have seen one of the two versions. And one of those two versions, of course, I will have to censor, as it contains a lot of adult material. I have put, by the way, 18 plus safety content, preventative measure on my Twitch channel, which no one under the age of 18 should be allowed to watch the stream. It is a stream for adults. We talk about adult content, and I say fuck a lot. It's not an appropriate stream for anyone who's underage. So those of you who are watching, you must all be 18 plus, and as of that, you are most likely going to be able to watch the second music video that has a lot of sexual content. And I'm not just talking about sexy content like the likes of which you're used to, such as erotic male dancers, Cardi B, stuff like this. There is other content that will have to be censored as well, But before we get to that, and before we get to all the sexy times, let's start with Jordan Peterson's new music video. He uploaded it today, and it's called The Postmodernist Drinking Song, Mother. Why are you so weird? You're supposed to be one of the greatest minds on the right, an academic who people can point to and be like, oh, sorry, and that, like, my deep transphobia isn't rooted in bigotry. I'm just quoting Dr. Jordan Peterson. And yet he saw fit. He was like, oh, yeah, I have an idea. Oh, did you want to give another lecture? Or are you doing 13 Rules for Life? Well, you did do 12 Rules for Life Part 2. Did you want to do Part 3? We'll just call it 12 Rules for Life again. We could do that. Is that it? We make a lot of money. Oh, no. Oh, bloody hell. I want to talk about the woke NPCs. Cancel culture. Okay. Did you want to write a book about that? 12 rules for cancel culture, 12 rules for SJW. So I don't know. What do you want to do here? No, it's got to be in song, music video.
Love of God, man. I want to be a resentful taco delivery boy. There's a real hell on earth. I had a guy come up to me.
The narcissism on display, by the way. Like, the egos on all of these people. Where it's just like, oh yeah, and then in one scene I turn on the TV and then there's like a puppet version of me, and then it's basically pointing out all the problems with the modern world, but people mock me for it. They show me as a goddamn Muppet. I'm not a Muppet. I'm not a Muppet. I'm not a Muppet.
Left yourself an absolute mess.
Michel Foucault was a genuine pervert, and it made him awful sad.
Here we go.
He invented philosophical doctrines designed to drive us all quite mad. Critical racists now annoy us. They accuse and satirize.
That's your daughter. Why? What you doing? What you doing there, Daddy Lobster? By the way, there's a difference between performative outrage, which I think a lot of these people are upset at, and racism, which a lot of people experience in America and Canada. In the West, there's a whole fuck ton of racism in these countries. It's imbued and embedded in so much of our culture. Some of it is just so normalized and acceptable that you don't even think you do it. And when it's pointed out, and then someone uses a term, and then all of a sudden that term is like, oh, these SJWs talking about microaggressions just because I wanted to rub grandma's brush on that black woman's hair. That's actual, worth learning, especially if you don't experience that on a regular basis. See, I can tell you as a white person, I don't have the thing where people walk up to me and be like, oh, neat, your hair looks fun. Can I touch it? Can I touch your hair? I think that would become very weird very quickly, and having been told that, I was like, oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I get it. It's not really an unfair ask, but then it's like, oh, SJW is looking
multiplying all around us. It's time we cut.
Oh, you got Ruin to even sing in it. Oh, I bet everyone's gonna sing in this. We're gonna see, this is gonna be a fucking whole, we would Save the World or Save the Children style song, Michael Jackson.
Them down to size.
As a person with an Afro IRL, it's true. I imagine so. And then you always get that, the white liberal progressive who's like, no, it's amazing, bro. Your hair is just it's so cool. I wish I could grow hair like that, I wish I could do that. I also wish I could play basketball. It's like, I don't play basketball. Right, but you could, bro, And that's like, oh, I wish I could do that, for shiz. I wish I could do that, yeah. Well, I mean, you're naming names. Oh, and you got Ben Shapiro to join in with the violin. All this whole thing. It's a team effort. It truly is. You know what? Hey, Tim Pool's got to be a little choked though, right? Like, Tim, they're biting your game. You were supposed to be the far right winger who turned into, a musical act. Now, look at this. Oh man, that sucks. Hi, Judas Butler. So it's basically an anthem for white people who read White Fragility and then got some feelings. And hey, don't get me wrong, White Fragility, I mean, it's basically fucking a liberal guide to white people understanding elements of racism. Doesn't criticize capitalism and the North Atlantic slave trade and how the two, but don't worry about that, okay? Just, you gotta learn about a lot of things, and let's teach you about privilege. And then it's like, okay, so we're learning some things, but the backlash, oh my. Even the very idea of introducing some of these concepts into the workplace, so that other workers might feel accepted. Because yeah, if there's persons who are visibly indigenous and they come into work tired or something, and people in the workplace are like, whoa, what, are you drunk? Because, were you drinking last night? That fucking sounds horrifyingly racist and horrible, and maybe people don't want to be in that work environment, and it doesn't lead to a good work environment for everybody involved, right? So it could be a good thing. Could be a good thing just to learn, and especially for people who don't have the talk, who don't be aren't sat down and being like, so yeah, police officers could potentially pose a threat to you, potentially lethal threat. It's like, well, but I'm 12. Why are you telling me this? Well, I'm telling you this so you don't get shot and killed. Yeah, that's not a conversation that a lot of white people have with their kids.
Is truly not helpful.
Is truly not helpful.
Little ode to Floyd, little ode to Pink Floyd here.
With his assurance, nothing's real.
Call me pig.
With his assurance, nothing's real.
He made a goddamn musical for persecution complex. Oh man, I'm joking about how fucking they all have oppression simulator and they do oppression Olympics and stuff like that, but goddamn, they turned it into fucking full-on music videos.
What of hunger?
What?
Mr. Skeptic?
Thank you, by the way, Jordan Peterson, Michaela, the whole team who put this together. Absolute, no notes. Make more of these, please. Please? Is this being funded by the Daily Wire's new kid thing? Benki? Is this a Benki fucking music video for kids?
When a child lacks a meal.
Also, it's so utterly bizarre because the right-wingers are the ones who are always shutting down school lunch programs and publicly funded programs for schools and children so they can eat to eliminate, child starvation. That's something that is usually proposed by Democrats, usually rejected by Republicans. And then obviously it's that whole if we do that, they'll all be on welfare. Welfare, have you heard it? They become, allegedly, kings and queens, welfare queens. Have you heard about this? Yes. They use that welfare to live handsomely off the taxpayers' teat. That's why we need to talk about this. And you'll see there are some songs that really resonate with the people. Have you heard that one about how apparently welfare recipients buy fudge rounds and they use fudge rounds to get obese, and that's the problem, is that's what's wrong with the government, you see. That's the problem. Yeah, it's not the over fucking funding of the military, nothing like that. It's this thing, it's not being directly in partnership with the military industrial complex, and they have shareholders and they have fiduciary responsibilities to their shareholders to produce profits. So all these industries are directly influenced by the politicians themselves, who are obviously going to be getting lots of money on lobbying groups and everything like that in order to sway and keep them paying as much money. Doesn't matter what party they're a part of, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, doesn't matter. None of that. But no, it's welfare. SJW screams. The people's people. What? Oh my. Oh my. Holy fuck. Like race traitor accusations.
Clean up your room.
It's hard to tell with all the Muppetry going on here. Was that just a threat? Am I reading a little too much into this? She's a traitor to her race. It's time we put her in her place. But the puppet is clearly someone inebriated. So maybe she'll die from alcohol poisoning? Is that the idea? Or from the impact there, slamming your skull on that? Is that it? Yeah. Swim with the fishes, as they say. Ah, okay. Okay, so jokes aside, this thing is fucking a cry for help. I mean, if you are a big Jordan Peterson fan and you're, perhaps worried about him, I would use this as a warning, because, this isn't just something that materialized in a day. He didn't just turn on the webcam, the couple LED lights, and was like, oh, okay, I got a song about Foucault and basically Judith Butler being Hitler, and here we go, buckos. He had an idea, he proposed it, he needed people to back it, there was funding, there's camera work, there's lights, there's action, there's editing, there's a musical number, and then there's also the guest stars who had to be asked and being like, oh, Ben, I need you, can you play violin in the music video, Ruben, maybe sing a line or two, please. For some reason, I hate him less. You know what's weird? It's kind of true. Because it's kind of darling. And in its madness, by the way, it's just completely unhinged. But there is something darling about that. Yeah, he's joining Antifa. Yeah, he's now the CEO of Antifa. Here he goes. Oh, here we go. Smash the proletariat. Yeah, I had my meatballs. Oh, buckos. Yeah, abolish the state, ACAB, guillotine the rich. 12 rules for a life crisis. Yes, a dire warning, a very dire warning. And now, as I've also advertised, and I'm not going to betray you, we are going to play the remix. Yes, this came out today, but there is already a remix available. Hold on, I do want to give proper shout outs to the artiste who brought us this. JTB, here is a link to JTB. It's not me that's being censored, okay? It's take it up with YouTube and take it up with Twitch. You know, I got to abide by the guidelines. But again, if you want the uncensored version, you can click on it at home. So, JTB, now with the Jordan Peterson remix. This is Cardi B on the screen. We have some male strippers, some vodka going into a mouth, more sex, bunch of naked men dancing in a prison. Now we have a couple mice having sex. Yeah, that's happening. Yeah. Jordan Peterson is... Oh, we have lions fucking. Yeah, there's lions fucking. He's enjoying that. Giraffes are now going at it. Okay. Yeah. Jordan is enjoying. Getting a little too excited with what he's seen. Yeah. Here we are. Oh. Getting horny now. So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Ooh, Jordan is loving it. We got crabs fucking, lobsters fucking as well. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, it's horrifying. Universe is the artists behind the chiptune version of the Bad Touch original song by Bloodhound Gang. That is there too, so if you want to subscribe to any and above, you can by hitting the subscribe button. I'll say even the beanie couldn't cover the horror. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This show is produced by amazing people like you, and if you want to help us out, please consider donating over at patreon.com/theserfs. The show is made possible thanks to Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Cady, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Laminia Panza, Matthew Scarborough, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Pappy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Sir Nickus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demo, Tech Tink, Trevbot EXE, Words Greenwood, and not to mention all of the amazing and fabulous people you now see before you.